This episode of Fern and Friends is brought to you by our sponsors at Island, Mechanized AI, and Torres Event Management. Welcome back to another edition of the Fern and Friends podcast, which is part of the Fern Effect. Tyrone, you are a hot commodity lately. All the sisters want you.
Hey, Fern! Well, what can I say? I'm flattered by all the love, but I'm over here just trying to do my part as co-host extraordinaire.
LOL. Okay, Tyrone. We see you. We see you. So, I had a real girlfriend moment during this chat with Jane Harper. Clearly, we need to get more time together, but it was great to see her smiling face and learn what she is doing with all things AI.
Well, Fern, let's jump into it then. Let me see what we can find on Ms. Jane Harper. Okay, y'all, I am excited about today's guest because she does not play when it comes to risk, security, and transformation. We're talking about a woman who has walked into Fortune 100 and Fortune 150 companies and completely flipped the script. Jane Harper is a chief risk officer, a cybersecurity powerhouse, and a change maker who has left her mark at Liberty Mutual, Eli Lilly, Henry Ford Health System, and beyond. She's got the degrees, she's got the certifications, CISSP, CISA, CRISC, Carnegie Mellon. What? The list goes on. But what really sets Jane apart is that she doesn't just build programs, she builds legacies. Her teams are still winning awards for work she laid the foundation for. She's an author, a mentor, a coach, and frankly, one of those people you just need to be in the room with. Jane Harper, welcome to the show. We have been waiting for you.
But it's a Saturday today, and I am with Jane Harper. She is Miss CRO, she's risk, she's cybersecurity, she is an author, she's an educator, she's all the things when it comes to understanding and managing risk and managing cyber and being an effective technology leader. And I'm proud to call her a sister in my circle. We are part of at least one network. I'm sure if we talk about it long enough, we'd probably figure out we're part of 2 or 3 networks. So Jane, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Fern and Friends.
Thank you for the invite, Fern. I'm telling you, this is so serendipitous because not only do I absolutely love AI and I have been an early adopter and user of it, but I get to spend time with one of my favorite people, Fern. So this is great.
Oh, so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. So we're going to jump right in because we only have like 10 minutes to have this conversation before Tyrone comes back and recaps all that he heard and share with the rest of our audience. And you know Tyrone can do it. So talk to me about how you're using AI. And you said you were an early adopter. And so, you know, that means you've been using it for not just the last 6 months, but probably the last few years. Talk to me how AI has really transitioned the work that you're doing personally, first off.
Well, first, I want to make sure that everyone listening understands that you don't want to miss this ride. AI, in my opinion, is a significant inflection point in tech, and none of us can afford to be left behind, whether we're using this at work or we're using it personally. From an early adopter perspective, I actually have subscriptions, which means I pay because I want the beta versions of everything. I want to see the stuff before it gets out to the general public, and I use several different AI tools. But I'll say that I would categorize it into 4 categories of how I use the tools. I call it basic, kind of lazy.
Okay.
Delegation, because I'm busy. I need somebody else to do some of this work.
Right.
Problem solving, and then game changing. And then I'm happy to walk through like examples of what I mean about each of those.
Yeah.
So when I think about basic, kind of lazy, it's like Google could possibly do for me, but I want it faster. Or it's like fact checking, you know, some text message I got or something somebody sent me on Instagram to see whether or not it's true. It's really stuff I could do for myself. But the benefit ends up being that it's faster. And depending on what it is, the AI actually helps me to complete the way that I think about it. For example, if I ask AI, what are some things I can do to improve my health? It actually starts to ask me questions to prompt me and say, Like, well, what's your goal? How soon do you want to reach that goal? What's your focus, right? And that requires you to think differently about it. So that's why being kind of lazy usage of AI.
But before you go to the next one, I love the fact that you're having a conversation, right? So it's not just one way entry. It is now, and if you, I subscribe as well. So if you actually start to have whatever you want to call your boyfriend, Claude or Tyrone or Suzanne or whoever you want, whatever name you want to give your tool. But if you turn on the audio piece and you start talking back and forth, it's like you've got a friend that's working with you.
Oh, Fern, that is so true. And I think that's one of the things that people miss. And one of the things I recommend that people try with older generations in their family. So I was teaching my grandmother, how to talk to Gemini, how to
Right.
ask Gemini some questions. And it is my favorite tool for conversational AI. I will pull Gemini up and say, hey, I want to, practice my diction.
Right.
Hey, I'm interested in, learning a new language. You know, um, Gemini, what is the purpose of life?
No, I get it. Now, here's what's
Very good.
interesting. Here's what's interesting.
Mm.
So I've been using a lot more voice automation now too myself. And so I'm in the car and I'll say, hey Siri, tell me about Helen Giddings. So Helen Giddings was a state senator here in Texas, Democratic side. And she's also part of two of my women's organizations. And so, you know what Siri said? Fern, would you like me to use ChatGPT to find that out? I said, wow, okay, okay, okay. So tell me about the other three areas.
Delegation, like I talked about, I'm busy. And one of the things they teach us as leaders is delegate and delegate often and have capable people or AI that you can delegate to. So I'll give you, for example, I wanted to have a long weekend with my husband for our anniversary, but I did not have the time to plan it. And typically, I am the one that plans like all of our family vacations and trips. It was not going to happen. So I just called on my AI friend and I asked for some destinations, gave it some background on what I was trying to do. And, there was the anniversary. And do you know it mapped out a 4-day weekend for us,
Nice.
including the hotels, the restaurants, sites that I should go see. And
I
you
love
have to fact check some of this stuff. You don't want to show up someplace at a hotel that does not exist.
this,
So
right?
I ran it across more than one tool, and it was amazing. It found Fern these little nooks and crannies from
Right.
a tourist perspective that were just amazing. AI wrote the whole plan for me.
Okay, so you've given me a good thing I'm gonna do. Ooh, I'm telling a little bit about my business here. So I'm getting ready to go on Aruba. You know, Aruba's my happy place. I've been going to
Hmm.
Aruba for 30 years. And my new guy is coming with me. So I've been there several times. I'm going to talk to my boyfriend, Claude, and then I'm going to talk to ChatGPT and say, hey, since I've been 30 times and I'm bringing my new friend and we want to have a wonderful vacation, share with me a few things that I can do different that I haven't already done in Aruba. And so I'm going to have that conversation this weekend because I want to make sure that he is really impressed with Aruba, as I know he will, and we'll have time to chill, but also explore some new things. Because as we are on this new journey together, we want to make sure that we have new experiences. So I'm taking him to a place I love, but I want to make sure it's filled with some new experiences for both of us. So I'm going to do some research with my other boyfriend, Claude.
That's awesome. Yes, Fern. Let me know how it turns out. It turned out great for me. I'm sure it will turn out great for you as well.
Yes. All right. So you have two more. So you have two more items, two more ways that you broke it down.
Problem solving. And this is really where you start to get the investment for the subscription back. I have leveraged AI to help me with everything from my marketing campaigns to designing pamphlets for my consulting firm, Eccentric. It has helped me with my book covers and advertising materials, really helping to give me multiple views of something and then doing kind of the pro and con of each view and actually grabbing data on which one would be more user friendly and consumer appealing. So it's great for stuff like that and contract review. So you have all these wonderful contracts that you have to sign. Even when you're negotiating a new package with the company, just sharing it with AI and asking it, give me some pros and cons of this contract. What are some of the watchouts I should be looking for?
All right, so wear your cybersecurity hat for me, because I believe in all the things that you said makes perfect sense, but you're also sharing a lot of data and information about yourself at the same time. And so, how do you balance wearing your cyber and your risk hat with how much you're sharing about yourself on these capabilities? Because we know that all that data is saved.
Yes, one of the things I've done is I have created different profiles. So sometimes when I'm interacting and saying, my cousin has this question, or my sister is thinking about doing this. And whenever I'm putting anything that might be considered sensitive information that has my name or
Right,
information, I take that out. So, like, you can put the elements of the contract in there without
right.
actually putting details about
Gotcha.
yourself.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair. All right, so your last area, your fourth one.
Game changing. So, I have set up agentic models where I have use AI for financial consulting and advisory services. And I ask it to play three different roles. I have an agent that's a data analyst focused on investment market data. I have an agent that is a financial advisor that does planning and client support. And then I have an agent that is more customer looking, understanding like my investment tolerance or whatever. And I prompt it with questions about, from a dividend perspective, if I've got $1,000 right now and I want to get the best dividend with the lowest level of risk, what are some recommendations? And it actually comes back. It'll tell you that it's not a financial advisor and I need to be
Right.
careful and all of those things. But it gives me really good information. And I'm telling you, Ferd, I've had some money put in my pocket. It's
Hey,
worked out
girl.
pretty well.
Okay,
The
okay.
other thing I've used it for is contract negotiation. So not only getting the pros and cons of a contract, but to say also, hey, what are some things that you recommend that I ask for or change? What would you suggest for this language that you've identified as problematic?
Well, it sounds like you are double and tripling down on how to best leverage it. And while we said we were going to have a personal a take on this, everything you talked about is business relevant. So I would say you are not only fully engaged, but you found how to turn personal use into fully professional use on four different levels, even when you're being somewhat lazy, to being super strategic and looking at helper aids to make sure you're accelerating the work that you're doing. So Jane girl, she is on point always. And we had a whole other 40-minute conversation already. And we were like, girl, we got 10 minutes to get this done. And you know what? Hot dog, we did it. We did it. So thank you so much for being a part of Fern and Friends and imparting your knowledge on how to use AI every day in every way and to not miss this journey and this opportunity to get on board quickly in every facet and every area of your life. So appreciate you, girl, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye bye.
Fern, you and Jane do need more time. Sounds like a correct connect. No, wait, more like a libation is in order for you two powerhouses. Let me share what I took away from the conversation. AI isn't just a tool, it's a partner. Whether you're learning, planning, or solving problems, it can help you think bigger and move faster. The real power of AI comes when you move beyond simple tasks and start using it to analyze, advise, and support decision-making. And here's the big takeaway. Don't sit on the sidelines. AI is a major shift, and the people who learn to use it well will have a huge advantage.
You nailed it, Tyrone. Jane, your 4 steps to AI every day and in every way work. Thank you. And friends, thank you for listening. What resonated with you today? Share in the comments. Continue to check us out on LinkedIn and YouTube. Listen, like, subscribe at The Fern Effect.